recording. So what you guys are seeing is my email right now. What I want to start with is your KVCORE platform. So you guys all know that you type in your KVCORE.com and it takes you to your sign in. So the very first thing you're going to sign into is your eXp Realty email address and whatever password you have set for yourself. And so the first thing you see is your dashboard. And that basically tells you, hey, this is the calls you need to make today. These are your tasks. So these are predetermined for you by KVCORE. But you can also add and reference this. So if you're that type of person that likes to work by a list, definitely add the task in. I usually go in the night before and I'm like, call D Green, call this lead, call that lead. That way I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, but the automated system is working too. So the number one thing about KVCORE, and a lot of people get this confused, is they think it's instant money, and it can be instant money. But it is one of those systems that you are going to be working with for a long-term longevity type lead generation system. As I mentioned in the very beginning, you can use it for brand awareness. You can use it for lead generation. You can use it to track. I mean, there's so much you can do. It's so robust. I utilize KVCORE in my listing presentations because it helps me win listings every single day because I can track who's looking at those listings. So the first thing we're going to talk about is getting your KVCORE set up. Many people come in and they think, oh, it's KVCORE and it's done, it's ready to go, and it's not. You guys have to take the time to go in and work the system. KVCORE is great, but you have to work it. It's not going to work for you until you start working it yourself. So the very first thing for any agent whatsoever, and if you've been with eXp for a while and you have KVCORE, definitely go in and look at this stuff to see if you've done it. It's going to be your service areas. Those service areas are very, very, very important because those service areas, that determines if you get a lead from eXp, right? So eXp obviously has a much bigger SEO on Google than we as individual agents can ever have. So when someone goes to eXp Realty's main site and they are saying to themselves, I want to buy a house in Matthews, North Carolina. Oh, hey guys, if your microphone's not muted, can you mute it, please? Thank you. So you will go over to the site and it'll be web and IDX, and you'll have your website manager, your site content, your blog, everything that you can possibly think about when it comes to your public facing website. So mine is alexishughes.exprealty.com. So this is your public facing website, and this is how you're putting content on there. So you can see right here, it's talking about our service areas and SEO. So I want to make sure that I'm getting all the leads that I possibly can. So I'm going to click on site content and I'm going to go to service areas and SEO. And as you guys can see, I've got this broken down to as many service areas, 69 to be exact, that you can possibly have. So I want to make sure that if somebody's searching in the city of Belmont, that they're coming to me. I want to make sure if they're searching in the city of Albemarle, they're coming to me. And then I broke it down even further because I have specific neighborhoods that I farm and I want to focus on. So Chatelaine, they're coming to me. You can break this down to county, you can break it down to city, you can break it down to neighborhood. And I definitely recommend you put as many as you possibly can in here. If you're bored one day and you're like, I have nothing to do, what can I do? Start Googling neighborhoods that you can go in and put in here. So anytime that any customer goes on eXp's main website, how eXp is going to distribute those leads is directly related to this service area and this SEO. So you want to make sure this is filled out as detailed and as much as possible as you possibly can. So that's number one. Number two is going to be your testimonials. So a lot of people don't realize that you can go in and you can get testimonials and put them on your website. So to show you guys what that looks like, if you go to my website as a customer, client, potential client, whatever the case may be, even agents. You guys would be surprised. EXP agents are going to go to your website and they're going to look at how in-depth it is. So you scroll down, and right here in this area, it has testimonials. So for seasoned agents, how does that look? Okay, well, you want to update and review your settings for Zillow, or you can add it automatically. And for newer agents, you may not have a ton of client testimonials, but you do have friends and family that have seen how hard you have worked to get that license. So you want to get their review. So simply send them a message and say, would you mind writing me a review so that I can put it on my website? I know we haven't worked together, but you've seen how hard I've worked. Can you give me a testimonial to me as a person, and if you would trust me as your agent? Having that testimonial there is going to lend you a legitimacy when people are going on your actual website. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is you have blogs. I cannot tell you how important blogs are for your website, but also for lead generation and brand awareness. So you guys can see right here that I have several blogs, and it allows me to track the views. So if I were going to utilize this for brand awareness, and brand awareness for those that are newer is not a lead generation thing. It's just making sure your sphere of influence and the growing sphere of influence knows who you are. So in this sense, you want to brand yourself as the expert. And guys, excuse me, I'm going to add some other people onto this call. Sorry. So in this world, what are you using for lead generation in blogs, and what are you using for brand awareness? Well, you guys can see coronavirus is big right now. So coronavirus, buy all the toilet paper equals what? Why are people buying coronavirus toilet paper? What does that mean, and how this is effective? And I'm going to scroll through and show you exactly how I've utilized it. If you have a business Facebook page, wonderful. Anyone that does not should have one. You are going to be able to grow your sphere a lot quicker with social media than you will anything else. And that doesn't mean you have to go in and do videos. It doesn't mean you have to get on Facebook Live. It means you're utilizing the sphere you already have, your friends and family, in order to grow it, to push it further. People like to share content. Okay, utilize your friends and family to share your content. So if you guys are looking on my business page, and you'll have to excuse me, my internet lags sometimes, but if you're looking on, and you guys can see, you want to share real stuff too on your business page, not just real estate all the time, every single day. If you're going through, and I'm going to get to the coronavirus in a second, and that'll bring me to my next point, consistency. You want people to constantly see that you're working. That doesn't mean overload them with useless information. You want them to stay on your website and you be their expert in every single thing that you do. So I'm going to find the coronavirus post in just a minute. As you guys can see, I'm very consistent with the content I post. So make sure you're consistent. Doesn't matter what you're posting. Doesn't matter. You just have to be out there. Being top of mind to your sphere of influence is going to be a very big thing for your success. You want them to know you as the realtor. So with the coronavirus post, it literally was a blog that I shared on my business page. That blog did not come from me. I did not write it. I am not that creative when it comes to blog posts, but it was something that I felt we needed to talk about. Everybody was talking about toilet paper, and why not? And you want people to see you on social media, and you want them to say, hey, that person looks funny. I'm not going to just follow them for real estate, but they're funny. Why not? So you go in and you post this blog on your main page, and then you share that blog, right? So as I'm scrolling through here, and guys, I'm so sorry that coronavirus post was a lot older than I thought it was, but as I'm scrolling through, I want you guys to actually see what the blog looks like on my website. So down here at the bottom is the actual coronavirus posts. Here's my blog. It was viewed 355 times. I didn't spend a dime to get it viewed that many times, but those 355 people were people I was able to touch via social media. I don't know that many people. I don't talk to that many people a day, but I was able to touch them. And then through touching them, invite them, like my business page. And then they came in as leads. So you guys see right here, like very cut and dry. Reason number one, reason number two. What I want to show you is down at the bottom. This right here is the source. That's the source of where this information came from. I didn't have to be creative with it. I just gave the source of it. It gave me content. And the importance of this is because how many times have you seen an agent share a blog from Zillow, Fox Business News, Better Homes and Gardens? In this case, it was CNN. And that content you share on your page. Well, what happens when that sphere of influence that you have on social media clicks the link you shared? If I would have just shared the CNN link, it would have sent them to CNN. But in this case, it put them on my website to put it to a point to where they start clicking on my other blogs. And in their mind, they're like, wow, this girl's smart. Wow, this was funny. Or let me share it with my friends and my sphere of influence, because it makes a lot of sense. So this is just one instance. This is brand awareness. This is not lead generation. And the importance of brand awareness and utilizing KVCORE for it is because you're building a pipeline. So you constantly want to have people in that stream that you're touching, whether it be, hey, I'm touching you to get you pre-approved. I'm touching you to show you this house. I'm touching you so you can laugh today. I'm touching you today to be uplifting. The more people you can get into that database, the better, because then the CR or the back end of KVCORE can start working to try and convert those people into leads. They can start working to bring about conversations you never would have had with people you never would have known. So brand awareness on the blogs, that's number one. But I do want to go back, and you guys see, you can see why you need a realtor when buying new construction. That's informative. That is brand awareness and lead generation. So people will see that, and they will start to imagine you as the expert for new construction. But at the same time, if they share that blog with their sphere, what's going to happen is their friend may be wanting to buy a new construction, and their friend is going to reach out to you and click on that because you have branded yourself as that expert. Top 8 myths when buying a home. Why would you click on top 8 myths when buying a home unless you were thinking about buying a home? So you start to think in your brain. You're not master marketers, you're not master bloggers, but you start to think in your brain the types of people and what they're searching for and what they're going to click on. So you start to get their behaviors. And then you make the blogs about that. All of my blogs are not my creation. They are something that I have copied and pasted and given the source for, but it kept people on my page, and it made people brand me as the expert. So going into lead generation, how can blogs be effective for lead generation? 7 fall maintenance tips for homeowners, right? That's not going to garner you any solid leads. But if you go in January and you put 6 tips to get your home ready for spring, who do you think is going to click on that particular blog post? That is going to be people that are thinking of listing their home in the spring. That is lead generation right there. And so when they click on that, they're going to your website. They're thinking of you. And then we're going to take it a step farther. And guys, this is a big overview, but it's my thought process every single day, every single week. What am I putting out there, and how can I make it work for me, and why is it working for me? The number one thing to realize is there's a psychology behind every single thing you're doing for your business. And once you understand the psychology behind it, and then you know what results to expect, it's going to work for you, because it's not going to discourage you. So many people have said social media does not work for lead generation, but it's because they didn't understand you can't just post for 30 days and because you didn't get a lead, it's not working. No, it's a long-term lead generation system. It's not short-term. If you want short-term, you're going to put out seller squeeze pages. You're going to put out buyer or multi-property squeeze pages. There's a difference between those two. So guys, work on your blogs, get some content out there. Start making sure that your sphere of influence is seeing you in a legitimate and professional light, because you're sharing it from your website. You're not sharing CNN's expert. You're not sharing Fox News's expert. They're seeing you as the expert that's giving them this information they otherwise wouldn't have had. So that's my blog. Blog away, guys. You guys can see some of them do really good. So we've got why you need a realtor to buy new construction, coronavirus, buy all the toilet paper, what? But then you can see that some of them don't. Hiring the right listing agent to sell your home. 27 people read that blog, and that's okay. When you see those low views, don't get discouraged by them. That is just telling you what people are interested in. So every single day, Facebook is collecting your information, and you need to start thinking on that back end. Okay, how can I take this data, like a market analysis, for instance? How can I take this data from the views on my blogs and analyze it to a point where I understand what's working and what's not? And if you're in a position where you're not sure what exactly is working and what's not working, then call me, reach out to anyone that you can find in workplace that is very knowledgeable with KVCORE, and talk to them about it. It may be something as simple as when you put the blog out, you're not given a call to action. So a lot of these blog posts over time, I've given a call to action. Share with your friends so they know why they need a realtor for new construction. And so what do my friends do? They share, and then their friends click, and their friends like my page, and it's a snowball effect. So the next thing, and guys, I go really fast, and I apologize, and I promise there's going to be a point in time for questions at the end. If you need to write or type the questions out now so you don't forget, please put them in the chat box, and we're going to go over them. The next thing I have done is my campaigns. So you can have all the people in the world coming to your website and clicking on it, and even giving you their information, their email and their phone number. But if you don't have a campaign attached, that's not going to do any good. So the next thing that you want to make sure of is that your campaigns are set up. And a lot of people think that this is something that happens automatically, and it's not. You have to physically go into KVCORE and set your campaigns up, and you can choose them. And so you guys will have to bear with me, because it's been a while since I've actually set my campaigns up. So I got to find where they are now. Fun times. So, all right. So build and manage your campaign. So if you go to marketing autopilot, you're going to see smart campaigns, and you're going to see start a campaign. When that pops up down here, you're going to see my library. Ooh, my library right in here. But then you're going to see system campaigns, all that fun stuff. So your job is to go in and decide, hey, when I get someone that comes to my website, what do I want them to see? So you can look and you can see the actual campaign name. So open house is obviously going to be a campaign for people that you have met at an open house. New buyer lead is going to be for new buyers. Default post phone call lead. So if you get a sign call, so on and so forth. But then what's really, really, really important for you guys to look at is the channels and then the touches. So we know that most people, they don't open their email. most of the time. It takes a while for you to open an automated email system. So you've got to think like you do. So I don't want to choose a channel that just has emails or just has text email. I want to make sure that it's encompassing everything. So you've got email, call, text, status updates, all of that. But then you look at touches. If you start thinking about how long it takes you to respond to someone and the people that you're responding to. So think about it if you go on to buy a car on a website and you put your information in because you want to ask about a specific vehicle. 24 hours goes by and you're done. You're not even thinking about that car anymore. May not even want to buy a car right now, but what is going to happen, and sorry guys, I'm trying to get everybody in here that needs to be in here. But what's going to happen is they're going to continue to send emails out. And so eventually you're going to click on one of those emails. Think to yourself, how many times do they email or text me before I actually respond? And it could be a response. It could be like, leave me alone, kick rocks. I don't want you to talk to me, but that's fine. A response, any response is better than no response because then you have opened the doors for communication. So for my personal, and this will be personal to you, and I will tell you, this is a personal thing because I cannot tell you how many agents have said, I hate what KVCORE is saying. How do I change it? Well, this is how you change it. Choose your campaign. So for new leads, anytime anybody clicks on anything, comes to my website and gives me their email address or their phone number, I am going into new lead buyer and I've got 42 touches right here. I want to touch them 42 times over a 6-month time period because I know that most of the people coming in aren't ready to go right now, and I want to continue touching them. Essentially, as bad as it sounds, I want to annoy them so much that they tell me to stop so I can ask them why. You want them to talk to you. When I first started out, I had people that would unsubscribe. I had people that would tell me to leave them alone, all of that. And I took that as an opportunity. If they're responding to me, something is working. So make sure, again, that if you've got scripts, if you've got role playing, get an accountability partner. You want to make sure that you are preparing yourself for those no's because it's very easy to be discouraged. It's very easy to be like, oh, they unsubscribed. These leads are crap. They're not working. They're absolutely working. You just got an opportunity when they tell you no or they unsubscribe. You have got an opportunity to have a face-to-face conversation with them and overcome an objection. So the second you start looking at things as glass half full instead of glass half empty, and hey, they may not be able to buy right now, but how can I make an impact on them as a person to where when they're ready, they can. So how does this look? A buyer, I'm not ready to look, I'm just browsing right now. Great. What do you think about the homes you've seen so far? Open-ended questions, get them talking. They don't feel pressured. People love to complain, and I guarantee you ask that question, they're going to complain 110% about whatever homes they've seen and how they're too high priced for the condition that they're in, and then that's giving you the opportunity to build on the conversation. For seller leads, you get a seller lead that comes in and they unsubscribe or they tell you to leave them alone. Not a problem whatsoever. Before I unsubscribe you, I can send you market reports. Are you interested in knowing what the value of your investment is going to be on a continual basis? We don't have to talk whatsoever. You can use whatever agent you want to use. I just want to make sure you're informed. That way, when it's time to sell, you have all the knowledge to choose the right agent. Is that okay if I set you up on a market report? They're going to say yes. Who is going to say no? Don't do that. And what they don't realize is they're saying yes to you getting into their subconscious and sticking with them, essentially. So definitely make sure your campaigns are set up. And again, if you need help with this or you're not sure which one to choose, reach out to me. reach out to anybody in workplace that you can find that's good with KVCORE. I'm going to say it. There are great people out there with EXP. I do not recommend you pay someone to set these up for you because it is a very personal choice, and it is a very, you have to know what you're sending to people or you're not going to know how to respond. And it is human instinct when you are faced with something that you don't understand or don't know to run from it. So familiarize yourself with this. Know what content you're sending to people. Know what you're expecting. Know the psychology behind it, all of it. So that's campaign. What I will say is we're going to get into some posts right now. I did a couple today just as examples so we would have something to work with. But you basically have 4 or 5 avenues for actual lead generation that KVCORE allows you to do very easily. And I want to touch on those with you. So the first one is going to be your squeeze page. What is the squeeze page? That is your bread and butter. That is your right now clients. And by right now, guys, you have to realize real estate is a 90-day thing. You get a client, you build their trust, you start viewing houses, and then you go under contract, and then you close. A closing is 30 to 45 days. So you need to realize that anything you're doing today, it's going to be at least 90 days before you guys ever reap the benefits of that. So I'm going to say it, consistency, be consistent. What do you think the difference between the leads you can generate with KVCORE is compared to the leads Zillow is generating? Zillow didn't suddenly magically become known everywhere. They did not. So what Zillow does is exactly what you're doing, but they have a larger platform because they've been at it longer and they have more marketing dollars. But what you have that Zillow and Realtor doesn't have is trust of the people that you're putting this content out to. You have people liking your page. You have very, very local knowledge, so utilize that. So campaign squeeze pages, you're going to go to your lead engine on KVCORE. And you're going to go right here to your IDX squeeze page, and you're going to want to make sure that you're clicking you, and you're going to start building. And it's so easy. So you'll see here at the top, you have multi-property, single property, seller squeeze, and market report. What I am going to say is, yes, you can put a seller squeeze page out there and get a very, very good lead from it. But for people that are looking for bulk leads, let's think about it, psychology again. If you're a homeowner and you are thinking of selling your home, what is the first thing you're going to do? You're going to look to see if there's anything out there that you would want to buy. That way you're not in your home anymore, right? So many people make the mistake of investing their time and their dollars into these seller type lead generations. And I'm not saying you shouldn't. I am saying that thinking psychologically how a seller would think, you need to invest in the buyer squeeze pages more so than the seller. Because here's the thing, if you just focus on seller because all you want to do is list properties, nothing wrong with that, super, super smart, but you're going to miss out on a lot of listings that you otherwise would have had you focus more on the buyers. So what I like to do is the multi-property squeeze page. So you come in, you type in area. So this can be any area whatsoever, but again, we're not marketers, but think about marketing. You want it to be a broad area. You don't want it to be Meadow Creek Village and Locust, North Carolina buyers. There are not going to be as many people looking for Meadow Creek Village as there are for people that are going to be looking Stanley County. So again, supply and demand. The more buyers you have, the higher the price goes. Lead generation too. The broader you can be with lead generation tools like squeeze pages, the better it's going to be because more people are going to click on it. And ultimately, the goal is to build your database up so high that you have an endless supply of people coming in. So in the grand scheme of things, for every 100 leads you have, or every 100 people you have in your database, you should expect to be able to close one of them. So that puts it into perspective. Yes, those other 99 people are still important, and you still want to touch them, and you still want them to know who you are. But for that right now buyer, every 1 in 100. Getting into your own head and knowing exactly what to expect is going to make it where you don't feel discouraged. You don't feel like what you're doing isn't working. You understand everything behind what you're doing, and you know that Rome was not built in a day. So multi-property, if I wanted to do a multi-property squeeze page, I would probably pick Union County in our area. We're in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Union County is a little suburb outside of Charlotte, North Carolina that everybody loves. Everybody thinks Union County schools are the greatest thing since sliced bread, and people like to look in Union County because taxes are considered low and they have a lot of new construction going on. So you simply type Union, and we've got our area and we've got Union County. You can take it a step further. You can say, look, I want to pretend like I know everything and anything that everybody else, every other agent out there doesn't know. So I'm going to do coming soon. I want to know every single home that's coming soon in Union County. You can take it a step further and do the style and the price and everything. The times I've used price are for certain niche price points. So it is very hard in Union County to find homes that are under 200,000. So if I wanted to capitalize on that, I would hit 200,000 as my price point. But for this training right now, I'm just do Union County coming soon. And I know I'm going to put this on Facebook. And then I'm going to hashtag it. Your hashtags are how you're going to be able to, and we'll go over it, but it's how you're going to be able to mass email and mass text and save yourself some time when you're wanting to touch base with them, or if you have a listing coming up that fits that particular subcategory, we'll say. So for this one, I'm going to do Union County coming soon, and I'm going to enter it. That allows me to track where that lead came from. The worst thing in the world is to have a lead come in and you have to ask them, I'm sorry, what did you click on? No, you know exactly what they clicked on. They clicked on your squeeze page for Union County coming soon. So now you have a basis to form a conversation without starting out, without looking at like the expert. So it will say property views allowed before registration. And this is one of those situations where some agents will say, no, don't let them look at anything. And then some agents will say, yeah, give them 1 or 2 before they have to register. For me, it comes down to, what am I trying to do? Do I want to invest money into this lead generation squeeze page, or am I just putting it out there? We'll hope we'll get some leads. In this instance, we're going to hope we get some leads. So I'm going to keep it to the 2 default. We don't want to turn people off as soon as they come onto our website. So when you click generate link, you've got a direct link, which is very, very long. And then you've got a short link. You utilize for social media your short link. So you're going to copy and paste it. And then you're going to go on that business page, the business page that you have. And you're going to do a call to action. People make the mistakes. They put these links out there, but they don't call anybody to do anything. And we are all very subconscious in thinking. So in the real world, if I'm trying to get you to agree to do something, I'm shaking my head while I'm talking. Yeah, absolutely. This is a great car. Why don't you go ahead and fill out this financing agreement, right? In the internet world, you have a call to action. You want something to catch their eye and then make them want to see more. So in this instance, I'm going to put something along the lines of, and my typing is terrible, guys. Do you know what homes are about to hit the market? No. Make them doubt themselves. I do. Click and type well. I have a lot of typos. Click below for an exclusive list to homes that will be coming soon. They won't last. Marketing. And then you're going to enter and you're going to put your link. That link is going to auto-populate for you. And then I'm going to post it on my business page. And even though my business page doesn't have a ton of people on it, I'm not going to stop there. A lot of people think, oh, I'll put it on my business page and it's supposed to do what it's going to do. No. You've got to grow that. So what I'm going to do once that hits my business page, I'm going to refresh because my internet is terrible. But what I'm going to do when that hits my business page, that squeeze page I just built, I am going to go in and you guys can see, here's what it looks like. I'm going to go in and you know what I'm going to do? I want my friends and family to help me out. So I'm going to go in and I am going to post it on my personal Facebook page. And I'm going to give my friends the same call to action that I gave anybody on my business page. So something along the lines of, wow, homes about to hit the market are gorgeous. And then I'm going to tell my friends what to do. Be sure to share. So anyone or we'll say any of your friends thinking of buying, calling them to action, tell them what you want them to do, have the latest list there is, because it was at the time that you posted it. So I called to action my friends. I said, hey friends, you like me, you love me, you're friends with me on Facebook, go ahead and share this. But a lot of people stop there. They stop, and you don't need to stop. So then I'm like, okay, I am in Union County right now. This is Union County. Where can I share this to? You're going to share it in a group, because not only are you doing lead generation right now, but you're also doing brand awareness. People are going to see you consistently sharing everything, and they're going to be like, wow, Alexis really is on top of her game with real estate. She's so busy. She knows this. She knows that. So I'm going to come in, and again, I want to share it as myself. I don't want to share it as my business page. I'm already sharing from my business page, so I'm going to share it as myself, because you are much more apt to take notice of a link that someone shared in a group if it's an actual post from another place. But it also is attaching your business page. So if John Smith in One Man's Junk, Union County, sees it, he can go like your business page because he liked what you had to say. So in this instance, I'm a part of a lot of groups, and I suggest you be a part of them too. I am going to do, let's do What's Up Fairview, Unionville, New Salem. And I'm going to say, y'all, these houses, you want them to look. These houses coming to the market are to die for. Check them out below. You are constantly telling people what to do. Unfortunately, we live in a society where if you don't tell people what to do, they're likely not going to. There's like 10% of people that will do things that you don't call them to do. So you always want to give a call to action. And you post that to every relevant group you can think of. And then leads will come in. So that's a squeeze page. The next thing I want to talk about is a landing page. Landing pages can be used for a lot of different things. So some ways that I've used them in the past is sneak peeks on listings I have coming soon. That's number one. Number two would be if I am posting that blog that I talked about, top tips for selling in the spring. I want to know who's clicking on it. I don't want to just send them to my site and hope they register and call me. I want to know who's clicking on it, because if they're clicking, they're obviously thinking about selling. So what that looks like in your back end, your KVCORE, is going to be a lead engine, and it's going to be a landing page. Start building. So you can see this comes up. A lot of people get scared. You can edit this 100%. So What I am going to do is I have a listing coming up, and it's coming soon. I have all my docs and everything ready to go for it. I can legally market this property as long as I don't show it. It's Christie Lane. It's an awesome property, and it is on 3 to 4 acres. It's modern farmhouse. I know that people will click on this listing. So what I'm going to do is my goal is lead generation. So I'm going to click on lead. Again, the hashtag. I want to know where these people come from. So hashtag Christie Lane leads. And then submit button. This is what you're going to have people see down here where it says see list now. Obviously, we're not giving them a list for this particular lead generation. We're taking them to a place to see something that nobody else can see, right? Everybody loves to know something someone else doesn't know. So in the submit button for this one, I'm going to do something like show, and I'm going to spell it good. Show me now. So you guys can see as I typed it up top, it changed down here. Show me now. And then it says URL after login. Any landing page has to have a URL, and this is why you need a YouTube channel. Doesn't have to be great, doesn't have to be wonderful, but I have a YouTube channel, and here is my Christie Lane sneak peek. So I'm going to take this URL, I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to come to the URL, and I'm going to paste it. And here's the thing, I'm going to get stingy. I don't want you getting my sneak peek before anybody else does, unless you're going to give me your phone number. So I'm going to require your phone number. And then I don't like this chick's face right here. It does not make me want to click on anything. So I'm going to click on farmhouse. And oh yeah, that kind of fits with my listing, right? And so it says lead type. I am obviously wanting buyer leads. This is telling my KVCORE on the back end what type of lead to put them in. And then I'm going to put right here, 5811. Well, if I can type. All right, 5811 Christie Lane. So this is the page. When they click on your social media, this page needs to give them just a little bit, not enough. Think about when you were dating at the very beginning. How did you feel before you asked that person on the second date? They gave you just enough to get you interested, and then you ask them on the second date to get more. This is our second date right here. We want them to get interested. So 5811 Christie Lane, Midland, North Carolina, 28107. And then obviously it's not free, but this is editable. You guys see how I'm clicking on it and editing it. So something that's really, really unique about this property is it is almost brand new. It was built in 2018. So I'm going to put built in 2018. Great. Now here's the fun part. You can either keep these little 4 subsets here and customize them, or you can take them away. You have to determine if less is more in this scenario. So for me, I want to keep it. So I am going to put over 4 acres because I want them to know a little bit about it. They want to know what house they're clicking on. Over 4 acres. I'm going to put something along the lines of modern farmhouse, because we know that's something that's highly desirable but scarce in our area. Modern farmhouse. Then we're going to put, it doesn't have an HOA. We know a lot of people like that. No HOA. And then I'm going to take out the bottom parts. Guys, you've got to play around with this. I got to a point where I could do this because I played around with it. And then you know what? I want to tell people something about square footage over, and I'm going to make it really, really big. We want to emphasize it, 3,000 square feet. Take that out. And so I've got my landing page the way I want it. I am going to go up and I am going to click save. It's going to ask me if I'm sure, because once I click this OK button, I can't make any changes. I either have to start over or that's it. But I'm going to click OK. And once I click OK, it takes me to my landing page where I have a link up here that is very specific. I'm going to click copy. And then again, you're going to take it to your social media business page. And guys, this one's already closed. So for this particular one, I'm going to just talk about it. Wow, cannot believe this property. Click below to see this unicorn, right? And then I'm going to enter, I'm going to put my landing page, and it's a link. So you can see that picture helps, right? I'm going to post it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you exactly what a client is going to see. Don't be afraid to make landing pages and make yourself a lead, because again, you have to know what your clients are seeing so that you can do it yourself. So refresh. And it is on my page now, on my business page. Again, go back to your squeeze pages. You want to share to your personal page with a call to action, and you want to share to any relevant groups on Facebook with a call to action. So this is what it is. My clients or customers, sphere of influence, people in the group see this page, they're going to click on it, and it takes them to that page. And you know what? They want to see what this sneak peek is all about. So they're giving me their information. And then I'm going to click show me now. And you guys, what happens is you have an opportunity to do some retargeting, to follow up with them when the listing goes live, and to touch them more. And why is my show me now not working? Bear with me. It might actually be my computer. It might have said I'm done. So I don't know if it's going to work for you guys. I'm sorry. My computer has a lot going on. I have like 10 tablets in my household, plus like 4 smart TVs going on right now. But when you click show me now, what's going to happen is you're going to come in as a lead on the back end in KV. There it goes. There we go. So you see it took them directly to my YouTube sneak peek, and it's very blurry, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Don't be afraid to humanize yourself to the masses. You don't have to be perfect. So it just takes them through, it shows them some cool stuff. So kitchen, master bedroom, we know those things sell, right? But what happened on the back end, and I will show you guys just how it looks. What happened is someone came in as a lead on my system, and it will show something similar to Keisha Givens, or it will show something similar. So you guys see D Green right here. So she was a lead that I got from this exact sneak peek squeeze page, and she is selling a $500,000 house and buying a $700,000 one. So you can get some very good leads from these sneak peeks. Less is more. Make them give you some information so that you can give them the information they really want to see. That's your landing page. If you are going to utilize your landing page for a blog, and I do want to touch on that, you will do everything I just said to do. The only difference is the link you use, instead of it being that YouTube sneak peek, is going to be the link to the exact blog. And again, call to actions, again, sharing as much as you can. Another thing I do want to talk about, and this is honestly, it's not free lead generation, but it's been something that has been amazing for me. If you have a little bit of money to play around with, I don't get paid anything from this. So guys, I'm not trying to sell you on something. I'm just showing you something that I played with and it works for me. So long gone are the days where you dump, you know, $1,000 to $2,000 into Zillow each month to hope to be that #1 agent that shows up on the top spot and get 4 leads a whole month. What is really, really, really awesome about our firm is we like to share. Many of you that are on the Zoom call right now were a part of our mastermind call on Friday, and we talked about rising tides floating all boats and stuff like that. So if you have listings, leverage them. And if you don't have listings, reach out to EXP agents in your area with listings and leverage those if they allow you. So there's this really neat tool called Property Boost, and it allows you to, like, at the click of a button, get leads. So if you go in and you click listings, it's going to show you every single listing in MLS. I don't want to look at every single listing. I want my agency's listings or my listings. And guys, when you're going into a listing presentation, I'm going to show you the back end, but when you're going into a listing presentation, being able to show this to your potential sellers is like a deal breaker. There's going to be nobody else coming in and telling them that they can do what this is about to do. So how this looks for me as an agent going into a listing presentation is, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I know that you have every single agent you can choose from. Let me tell you about KVCORE and how powerful it is. I can literally send you weekly reports to show you the thousands of people that are clicking on your property that want to view it. But what's even better than that is when they're clicking on it, I'm getting their information. Who better to sell your house than me? That's what you hired me to do. So rather than hoping that they call an agent to see your home, I'm going to actively follow up with them and work harder and smarter to make sure they see your home. So there's some role play and some scripts for you. But how that looks, so if we go into agency listings right here, that's all of EXP. We're going to apply the filter, and then we're going to pick a listing. Look for listings you like that aren't run of the mill that people will likely click on. So for me, I love Shelly and Craig to death, and I want to market their listing. So I am going to send Shelly and Craig a message and say, Shelly, Craig, do you mind if I market 203 Hidden Meadows Drive, number 12? And they're going to say, no, bring me a buyer, please. And I'm going to say, great. And I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to click Boost Property. And again, you don't have to spend money to get leads, but if you want them, this is a very quick and cost-effective way to do it. So you can see you have several different options to choose from on this listing. You can do 3 days, you can do 1 week, you can do 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. For my listings, I want Property Boost to automatically send my sellers all the reports. So I'm going to click 3 weeks for $150. But then if it's not my listing, I just want to do a week, I'm going to do 60 on that one. But what happens is you're going to click, and I don't have their permission to market this one, so I'm not going to click everything, but you put in all your information, and you now have boosted that property with the click of a button. It's not your listing. But what is amazing about it is you can generate buyer leads from listings that aren't yours so easily, it's insane. So you pay Zillow for $2,000 a month for 4 or 5 leads. With this one, you actually can get, I've done it so much. The last one I've done, I got like 60 leads in a week's time. And of those 60 leads, there were 4 clients that actually purchased and bought and this and that. And I happened upon this, guys. I'm not super smart. I'm not like some genius. I played with it a little bit, and I was like, worst that can happen, I lose $50. Better than losing $50 boosting something on Facebook nobody's going to click on. Leverage the rising tide floats all boats. Work with the agents in EXP and start using their listings. You don't have to be super successful. You can be a new agent and do this. So I got to remember the hashtag because it's like property boost something or another, but the leads that came in were insanity. So let me go to my smart CRM because I do want to show you guys exactly what happened. So you guys can see this Keisha Groves Property Boost Spring Street. She came in and I literally did this 3 hours ago, that very first one. And I did that for you guys just so you can see that it actually does work in a very short amount of time. But I want to show you guys so PB, it comes in as a hashtag, hashtag PB. And we'll do maybe Round Table Lane. That was one of mine that I had. So 2500 Round Table Road. This ran for 3 weeks, that 150 package, and these are all leads that came in from them. I have 2 pages worth for $150. One listing. It was mine. But of these, I've got 6 buyers that are looking right now. So they're not junk leads. If you're choosing the properties correctly, you're going to get some really, really good leads. I also did this with Christy Lane when it finally went active. Roundtable worked so good. Why not do Christy Lane? Okay. You guys can see Christy Lane, another listing. Again, 3 pages of leads. I got 4 clients that are double deals that are buying and selling from this. And I've got 2 relocation clients. A relocation client from Florida at that. And you're doing it without having to understand the psychology or anything behind it or take any time or anything. So definitely utilize that. The other thing I want to talk about is, you know, I'm talking a lot about Facebook, and that's kind of how I've done it. I've done it with social media. But these landing pages and squeeze pages and all that, they can be used for Nextdoor. They can be used for Google. They can be used for other sites. You don't have to stick to just Facebook for them. And definitely play with it. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. If you're not making mistakes, you're not learning. And anybody that's successful they haven't gotten there by not making mistakes. They made a mistake, they learned from it. So this is my KVCORE overload. And the one thing I want to say is consistency. You don't want to do the same thing over and over. So don't post squeeze pages 7 days a week. Don't post blogs 7 days a week, but give them something new, something different, 1 to 5 times a week. Even if it's a meme that you like, real estate related, post it and share it to those groups. If it, you know, reach out to agents that are doing business, and talk to them and see if you can help with their listings. Everybody wants a buyer at the end of the day. So I don't imagine that too many EXP agents are going to tell you no. And again, don't be afraid to do this with your friends that aren't at a EXP. And don't be afraid to take these results that you're seeing right here on one of your friends' listings at another brokerage and say, hey, look what I just did. So that is my big spiel tonight. And I want to open it up for conversation. I know that there's a lot of questions in the chat box. So if we can briefly go through and answer those chat questions, then what I can do is answer one-on-one questions. So let me go. I'm going to stop my screen share so I can actually see. All right, so I have everybody's email. Great. Again, if you want a recorded version of this call, please send me your email. Drop it in the chat box so I have a record of everyone that wants it. And I'm actually going to stop recording right now because we're going to have questions and stuff like that. But for the purposes of this call, we don't need all that. So I'm going to stop